All right, Shalom. This is Howard One by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp, located right here in Jacksonville, Florida. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba Hashem, Ha Rakah Kodash, Ma'amaf. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders, and Shalom to you, Akim, and Akwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth, because that's what this is all about. All right. I want to do a response to this response from this guy, Hassad, I think his name, calls himself Brother Hassad from the Sakari camp. I think he excommunicated from the Sakari camp for whatever reasons, in-house reasons they have that they separated or whatever. But he's going on a tangent teaching about saying Russia in the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and once the elect are established and set upon their thrones and in the land, that he believes that Russia is going to come up with all their bands, meaning those BRICS nations and their armies, and they're all going to come up against the land of Israel because of what it says in Ezekiel 38 and 39. Ezekiel 39 as well. So what he did was he tied Revelations 20 to Ezekiel 38, which would be correct, because Revelations 20 is Ezekiel 38 coming to pass, coming to fruition, manifesting. But he's just looking at it wrong. All right, so we're going to get into it, because what they don't understand is they keep telling the elders to read, tell them to read Ezekiel 38 then. Why they won't read Ezekiel 38? As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you. All right, you see right here, it says, one in the comments, it says, GMS, my boys. But my first thought, this ain't entertainment. People look at it like entertainment. They my boys, like a football team. GMS, my boys. But my first thought after listening to the elders' rebuttals was, you got to address Ezekiel 38 and 39. Well, the thing about Ezekiel 38 and Ezekiel 39 is it's a metaphor. The whole thing is a vision. If you read Ezekiel chapter 11, the Most High was showing Ezekiel a vision, and that vision continued even up to Ezekiel 38, of which you get the metaphorical speaking of him talking about Gog and Magog. All right. Geographically, it's metaphorically speaking about a future nation that was going to come out of the north. And that nation that's in the north just so happens to be Russia and its allies. Now, I'm going to play the video. All right. And let's just play the video and go from there.
It says that the saints shall take the kingdom. It didn't say the saints is going to have a fight for 2 weeks with the Russians, and they go.
Okay, so it doesn't say the saints are going to have a fight for 2 weeks with the Russians. Okay, it doesn't say for 2 weeks, but look what it does say. Revelation 20 and 7, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. Now, in this video, he makes mention about IUIC and their stance on this. I can't speak for IUIC, so I'm not going to. But the 1,000 years is in reference to the
We're not supposed to have edge-ups either, just by the way. Can't let up on that point. They like to glide right over that. Not supposed to have edge-ups, man. But yeah, we know that's talking about the 1,000 years. Satan shall be loose for 1,000 years. We know that. All right. Okay, so let's get
1,000-year time period from when the 300s took place and Esau was at the bottom to the so-called Renaissance era where they were reborn. That's 1,000 years. And then it goes on to say in verse 8.
Right, and we teach that it was really from about I think it was 436 BC when the fall of Rome, if I'm not mistaken, 439, all up until the 1400s, which really started the fall of Rome. The fall of Rome started with Nerva, all right, and all up to Septimius Severus, all right, and I think it was the year of the 5 kings, and then you had the Byzantine Empire. So all of that, within that, you had 1,000 years, right? Mainly from 96 AD to about 1453, as the elders apostles always talk about. But Really, it's from around that time for about 1,000 years. The second century Nerva, all the way up until Constantine, Septimius Severus, all right, all the way up until the Ottoman Turks, which took back Constantinople around the 12th century going into the 1400s, of which you get the Renaissance, meaning the rebirth of the Roman Empire. Pagan Rome, on top of that, the Western Roman Empire. Now, we know that. So that's what this is talking about. Let me let him talk.
Go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. So Gog and Magog is going to go to battle. Who are they going to go to battle? And they went up on the breadth of the earth.
Nah, see that? See that? He's slick. He's slick. It ain't say they were going to go to battle. It didn't say they were going to go to battle. It just said this. Let's get that real quick. Revelations 20:8. And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. Gog and Magog. See, all those nations that are set up to come up against America. They're being deceived. It's right there. I don't know why they don't get it. The way he just finagled it, he said that Satan, which is the West, the Esau, over there in Rome or whatever, that they're going to join up with Russia and they're going to be deceived into going to war against the land of Israel once we're in that land. That's not what it's talking about. That's not what it's talking about right there. Right there it means that they're going to be led into this World War III scenario. That's what the elites are doing. They're the ones that's been financing all the wars, playing both sides of the wars, the Napoleon Wars, World War I, World War II, the Vietnam Wars, World War III. All of those were deceptions that were put in place by those elites. And now they're doing this again to bring in their New World Order and to destroy this place, America. So they're deceiving Russia, just like they did in 1991 with the fall of the Soviet Union. It was, what was his name, man? George Soros was the one that helped to bring down and fund the fall of the Soviet Union, the disbanding of the Soviet Union. All right, so they're being manipulated, as you see with Ukraine, Crimea, the provocations that's happening with NATO on the borders of Russia. They're being provoked into this war. That's what it's talking about right here. Let's read it again. Revelations 20:7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. All right, and that was around the 1400s. Okay, and now what happened in the 1400s? What happened in the 1400s? Well, those Edomites over there in Rome, they set up what you would call racism. All right, religious systems to go against us, where it wasn't just based on color yet. It was based upon religion, our beliefs. So what they did is they set systems in place to go to war with us, all the way up until America, to where they really went to war against the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans with Christopher Columbus and such. All right, Queen Isabella, King Ferdinand. So this is what it's talking about right here, where it says, shall go out to deceive the nations. See, that's what it's about. They're deceiving the nations into this war. Not saying deceive them to get them to go against the Israelites in the land of Israel. That don't make sense, bro. They were deceived into this war. All right, that's what Russia's being drawn into this war. That's what Scripture say. The least among them shall draw them out. All right. So now, Gog and Magog, and they got Ezekiel 38 there next to it as a precept in 39. This is the key to understand when Ezekiel 38 and Ezekiel 39 is going to happen. Yeah, Ezekiel 38 says they're going to come up against the land once the Israelites are settled in that land. What that means is those are the Israelites that are in the truth, that are destined to be set up in that land. That's what it's talking about. People before it's a place. We don't need to be there to be called Jerusalem. It says, in the place where we were scattered, there we shall be called the children of the Most High. And when all hell break loose and we call out to him, he's going to say, it is my people. So we don't need to be in that land for them to come up against us and they try to touch the apple of the Lord's eye. All right? So what this is talking about is an event in Revelations 20 that's going to happen before the lake of fire, in the midst of the destruction, in this same chapter. So how are they going to go up to that land? Like this guy is saying, he's saying that they're going to go up in Revelations 20. The Illuminati, Esau, and Russia and its allies, they're all going to join together and they're going to come up against the land of Israel while Yahushua is there. That's not what it's talking about right here, because this Revelations 20, which is a play out and a manifestation of Ezekiel 38 and 39. Got the precept right there next to it. This is the actual happening of it. This is Armageddon. This is World War III. This is when the Lord is going to rain that fire down from heaven and protect his elect. Protect his land, meaning his people. All right, that dwell in this place, and we're like an army that's scattered and dwelling in villages with no protection, just trusting in the Most High. That's what it means to be without walls. So he just doesn't understand Ezekiel 38 and Ezekiel 39 is still part of that vision that Ezekiel was speaking of. I think chapter 11, Ezekiel chapter 11. Where he was breaking down the visions that the Most High was telling to him. Matter of fact, let me get this real quick. I'm going to still play what he's saying, but let's get this real quick, man, because once we're in that land, nobody's going to be able to come up against us. All right? Because I got so much to show. Matter of fact, let me get this real quick. It says here, this is Ecclesiasticus 34:3. The vision of dreams is the resemblance of one thing to another, even as the likeness of a face to a face. All right, so when Ezekiel was getting that vision, it was around 592 BC. This was right before the fall of Israel to Babylon. All right. You know, Judea fell to Babylon in 586 BC. So 592, that's when Ezekiel was getting these visions of our land was being destroyed. But the Lord was saying someday these people are going to be protected by Yahweh against the powers of evil again. That's what Ezekiel 38 breaks down. And it's a parable speaking of the northern wicked nations coming against the Lord's people in this land. And then Revelations 20 is a depiction of that same dragon, that Satan, that serpent, that devil that was from old times, still being at war against us all the way until today, even setting up a situation to where they deceive these nations into trying to destroy this place while we're in it. And when you do that, the Lord ain't going to let that happen. And they know we're here. Russia knows that the Negroes, Latinos, and the Native Americans are here in America, but they still going to aim to destroy this place. Obliterate it. All right, so let me get that real fast. All right, I just want to read this real quick. This is Isaiah 14. Let's get this real fast. There you go, 14 and 5. 14 and 4. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, America, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased. So this is after the destruction of this place, America. All right. And Yahweh have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. So the Lord gonna take the strength out of their hand, man. America is what they use to rule the world with over there in Europe. All right. It says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. Man, nobody gonna stop the Lord and his men from persecuting these heathens in that day. And the Russians are actually Edomites as well. Isaiah 14:7. So after the destruction, when the Lord breaks the staff of the wicked, talking about America, destroys this place, it says this: the whole earth is at rest. The whole earth, man. Why? Because of this right here. Because of this right here. What did Einstein say? And he was one of those smiths that the Lord created to blow the coals in the fire and to help to establish the elemental theory of relativity and dealing with the nuclear fusion. And then Oppenheimer took it and put it into a missile container. But this is what he said: I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. Why is that? Why is that? Once they start dropping them nukes, man, the nuclear fallout, and World War III, all the missiles that's going to be hitting each other, Russia ain't going to have nothing left, man, to come up against the Lord's men, the angels, and chariots. It says what? The whole earth is at rest and is quiet, meaning nobody going to be able to come up against them. So what is he talking about? You can't. Ezekiel 38 and 39 is a parable and a prophetic of Revelations 20, which is happening right now in the build up to Armageddon. All right, when it talks about us being in our land and dwelling safely, that means being in the truth, being brought back to Yahweh, into his presence. All right, not into that land yet. That's not what it's talking about. So when they come up against America, they still come up against us as well, the Lord's people that are in this place. Okay, and that's what they're being deceived into destroying this place, which is going to bring destruction upon them. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing, meaning the whole earth is going to be begin to blossom once Esau is taken out of the way. Yea, the fir trees rejoice. So even the fir trees and the plants on the earth going to be able to blossom and grow. Stop being cut down so much and destroyed. It's going to bring more oxygen to the earth and life. And the cedars of Lebanon saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us. So once America gets destroyed, no nation is going to come up against us. That ends the discussion right there. Because why? Right here, look, I'm going to get this. I'm going to still let the dude talk. But this is why. 2nd Ezra 13. All right? Because that's what it's really talking about. 2nd Ezra 13. Let's get that. Let me get my charger, man. Fucking phone. So let's read it. 2nd Ezra 13. It speaks about when Yahweh Shai shows up in the midst of the destruction and the elect are being brought to Yahweh Shai. He's going to be gathered unto him a peaceable multitude, because the Lord said he's going to send out his angels to gather the elect. Well, the Lord going to be over there going to war against their tanks, their armies, their drones, whatever forces they got. Because in that day, let's get that real quick. Let me get that. Here you go. 2nd Ezra 13 and 32. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen, which I showed thee before. And then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending, man. All right, that's why I say he's going to come down over Mount Zion. All right, the Mount of Olives, meaning not that he's going to stand there on that mount, but that's where he's going to go to war against those nations and their armies. He's going to blast them, you know. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another. So Russia, all these nations that's battling against each other, they're going to leave off from them battles, and they're going to say they're fighting against aliens or whatever, you know, these chariots. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. See, this is not going to happen once we in the land. This is going to happen when Yahweh shows up. That's why scriptures say his fan is in his hand, and he shall thoroughly purge his floor. He's going to get everything done in this go-round. That's why I said on his head shall be many crowns. He's going to take the kingdom with the elect. He said the saints shall take the kingdom. That's what Elder Apostle Tahar was bringing out. But he shall stand upon the top of Mount Zion. See that? He's going to stand for the government of Israel. And Zion shall come and shall be showed to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest the hill graven with our hands. The elect going to be in them chariots. And this my son shall rebuke. This is the point. Because Yahweh Shai is going to rebuke the inventions of those nations. The wicked inventions of those nations. What's that? Russia, China, all these nations that's still around. The European countries, which a lot of those elite bankers are going to be hiding in bunkers and shit. Putin might be hiding in the bunker. They're going to be dealing with nuclear fallout, 2nd Ezra 15. So how are they going to have time to come up against the almighty power when he shaked terribly the earth? The earth going to reel to and fro. All right? So it ain't going to be no need. By the time Russia and them, if we in the kingdom and established, Russia and them going to come up against us with sticks and stones. That's about it. They ain't going to have no tanks and all that, man. So I don't get what this guy is thinking. He's thinking that Russia and China and them still going to have a bunch of equipment. But the Lord said this, and this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest, man. And shall lay before them their evil thoughts and torments, wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without labor by the law, which is like unto me. All right? So that's going to happen. He's going to rebuke all their weapons. Right? Let's get that real quick. This is Joel 3. All right, actually, see right here, Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. So now is the time where they're preparing for war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So all these nations, like Russia, Ezekiel 38, are saying that they're strong. They're calling themselves the BRICS. They're building up their military might. Their ICBMs, according to Revelation chapter 9, 200 million. All right. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Why he telling the mighty ones to come down? Why? This is why. See, it goes with the elect being protected. We don't have to be in that land to be protected. Revelation 7:1. This is why he told the mighty ones to come down, the angels. Revelation 7:1. And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, the breadth of the earth, as it says in Revelation 20, which we're going to get back to, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on any sea, nor on any tree. See that the angels are protecting the elect, which represents New Jerusalem. So we don't need to be in the land to be protected as the saints of the Most High. That's why Revelations 20 is a breakdown and manifestation of Ezekiel 38, which ends with the lake of fire. So this is before the destruction. In the midst of the destruction, Armageddon is going to be breaking out. And they're going to come up against the Lord's people, which are in this land, knowingly or unknowingly. The Lord, the Most High, like, you know my people there, and you still going to go up against them? All right. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power, and he cried with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor any trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads. All right, this is New Jerusalem. This is the elect being sealed, becoming what? Citizens. A citizen represents a city. Israel's what? A people before it was a place. It's all about the people. So Ezekiel 38 and 39, yeah, it says when we're in that land, but it's still a parabolic vision that was given to Ezekiel of a metaphor dealing with Gog and Magog, representing those northern wicked nations that was going to be coming against us in these last days. And Revelations 20, as Hassad said, is the manifestation of Ezekiel 38. So let's deal with it. Right, so this is a continuation of that war. I just recorded like a whole bunch and it didn't pick up. It's crazy. But I want to go back into it just in case. All right, so let's go to Revelations 12. And it says, this is the point. It says here, therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them, Revelations 12 and 12. Because where it says, and after 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them to the battle, right? And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about, and the beloved city. All right, so these saints represent that beloved city. And we don't have to be in that land for this to happen. All right, so now when this war against us is happening is right now, man. Depopulation. Them pushing their agenda for New World Order, World War III, martial law, all these things represents Jacob's trouble. All even to the missiles. But he said what? But he shall be saved out of it. Revelations 12 and 12. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. All right? Because how did they know that? Because when Yahweh Shai was on the scene 2,000 years ago, in 2 Ezra 11 or 12, it says the lion was chased out of the wood, after he rebuked the eagle. The eagle represents the Roman Empire. And it was prophesied that the mystery of iniquity was going to be removed out of the way, that they were going into slavery. Well, knowing that, they set out to make war against us and to keep us on the bottom and ultimately to destroy us. That's what they're doing today. They're trying to do. So this is not going to happen in the kingdom. This is going to happen now. This is going to happen before the lake of fire, during that time, not after. All right, Revelation 12 and 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, see, the Roman Empire saw that they were prophesied to be destroyed and go into slavery, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. See, not only did they go after the man-child, Yahushua, as soon as he was born, but they also set up to go after us now, his servants, the church. That's what the land represents in Ezekiel 38. Us being in the church, man, the gathering, the called out ones, a people before it's a place. So they set out to persecute not only the man-child Yahushua after he left off the earth. They set out to go against his people. And he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. And the woman were given, and to the woman were given wings, 2 wings of a great eagle, meaning we left out swiftly and was scattered around the 4 corners of the earth and into the western coast interiors of Africa, running from Esau, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, all the way until we got to America, where she is nourished for a time and half a time from the face of the serpent. I mean, for a long time, we were going to be here in America, that short season that Esau was let loose. And all right, so and the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman. So that flood represents lies, them trying to kill us, setting up traps after us, all the way until today. That same flood is still continuing. What did Klaus Schwab say? It's going to be like a flood. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Lord said, what? He's going to lift up a standard against them. Not in the kingdom. It's talking about now. The Lord going to make fire to rain down from heaven. All right? And from the chariots. That's Wisdom of Solomon, I think, chapter 11, if I'm not mistaken. Or 5. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go forth as from the clouds. So the chariots and the missiles going to be destroying this place and the people. And then when Yahushua shows up in Ezekiel 13, 2nd Ezra 13, he's going to rebuke their weapons, their military, their missiles, their technology, everything. The Lord's going to rebuke it with his power, man, and judgment. So what they're going to have to fight with? Sticks and stones? That's how they're going to come up against us? They said all of them having shield and buckler, Ezekiel 38. Well, they're going to lose all of that. The Lord going to rebuke all of that after they destroy America. All right? And when the dragon saw that he was cast... Okay, so now... And the serpent cast out of his mouth, right? Verse 16. And the earth helped the woman. See, we were able to hide amongst a lot of our people and allies that were scattered around the world and in those areas, especially in Africa. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood, meaning it helped to hide us from that destruction that was coming. That's why a lot of us are here today through our bloodline, making it through World War I, World War II, you know. And the serpent now, and the dragon was wroth with the woman. See that? Esau still mad at Jacob. That's why these wars are happening. That's why Revelation 20 talk about them compassing the camp of the saints about. That's talking about the camp represents not all Israel, but the Israelites that are camped out in this place. All right, that threat that Russia's bringing to this place. That's why Revelations 11, it says the remnant were affrighted and they're going to give glory to the God of heaven, because this shit is going to scare the elect. But the Lord said, what? Fear not, I will help thee. He's going to lift up a standard. He's going to cause fire to rain down from heaven. And them Russians going to get destroyed as well, a lot of their army. All right, so wherever they're at, wherever they're fighting in the east and the Ukraine, all those places, those gonna become graveyards. All their weapons, Ezekiel 39 said their weapons gonna be melted. All right. So the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. That's where they set up all these systems and religions and banking systems and policing systems against us. Originally, especially here in America, man, with that supremacy they was on. They put all of that in place to go against our people. So, and to incarcerate us so they can continue with slavery. All right, so they went to make war with the remnant of her seed. That's now. That's not in the kingdom. All right, which keep the commandments of Yahweh and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. So here, in this place is where we keep and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. And some other people around the world, right? Well, check this out. This is Ephesians 2:9. Now, therefore, ye are no more strangers and foreigners, right? Once we in this truth, that's why the scriptures say in the place where it was said to them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said that ye are the children of the Most High Power. And in this place where it's said to us at by the elders, and starting with Abba Bibbins, returning the hearts of the children unto the fathers and the fathers unto the children. Well, here is where it says, one man shall subscribe to the name of Israel, and we shall spring up as the grasses, the willows among the water courses, where the teaching is happening at out here in America and around the world. Well, in this place is where they're going to come up against this place and destroy it. So you don't think the Lord is going to protect us and be mad at those nations as well? And have some type of hell fall on them? If you read 2nd Ezra, it speaks about China, what's going to happen to them. It speaks about the Lord being mad with God, Russia, the nations that live in the north. It speaks about the Lord being mad with the Ethiopians and the Africans. All right, and Moab. So now, therefore, ye are no more strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens. And what's a citizen? You don't have to be in that land to be of that city. The saints, the camp, the church. All right, and of the household of Yahweh. See that? So wherever you're at in the world, you represent a part of that city. That's why he said New Jerusalem coming out of heaven. That's another metaphor. Not a building coming out of the sky, but Israelites coming out of the sky over there in that land. And by that time, we just going to be kicking ass. Ain't no nation coming up against nothing. Let's get that real quick. All right, so, and are built upon the foundations of the apostles and prophets, Yahweh Shai himself being the chief cornerstone. So we're a spiritual house and a spiritual land today, the foundation. In whom all the building fitly framed together groweth unto a holy temple in the Lord. That means wherever we're scattered at. In whom ye are builded together for an habitation of Yahweh through the Spirit. All right? So this is all spiritual, man. Ezekiel 38 is spiritual, an allegory or a parable or a metaphor about Revelation 20, about them coming up against the Lord's people before it's a place. All right? Knowingly or unknowingly. Now, let me get to something real quick. All right, so yeah, this is Isaiah 60, and we'll get to the point. Verse 14. Now, this is in the kingdom. This is once the elect are established in the kingdom, and the nations begin to flow unto that place, Israel. All right. And it says this, the sons of Isaiah 60 and 14. The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee. So when they show up, they ain't going to be showing up to fight. They're going to be showing up bending unto us. And all they that despise thee shall bow down at the soles of thy feet And they shall call thee the city of Yahweh, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee, meaning no man helped us. All right, and that land was desolate. I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles. What does that mean? Like a woman handing over the breast milk to a baby. The baby don't have to fight for it. It's handed over to him. You see that? So we're going to be the same. We're going to be taken care of by these nations. That's it. That's it. Putin and them show up. It's going to be to bow down and go in the chains, or to give us their kings, nobles, rulers, equipment, merchandise, whatever. They're going to cough it up. The Lord said they're going to vomit it up. Thou shalt suck the milk of the Gentiles, and shalt suck the breast of kings. How you going to suck the breast of a damn king? What it means is they're going to hand that shit over. All right, Russia, all them nations, they ain't going to be fighting against us, man. That's why I said, since thou art fallen, no feller has come up against us. Since America falls, nobody's going to come up against us. All right, Ezekiel 38 is a parable. And thou shalt know that I, Yahweh, am thy Savior and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. Come on, man. Verse 18. Violence shall no more be heard in thy land. No more violence, man. Why? Why is going to be no more violence? There you go. Micah 4:1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of Yahweh shall be established in the top of the mountains, meaning over every nation, man. Be established. I mean, we're gonna put our foot up their ass to their damn throat. And it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it. They're going to fight it? No, they're going to flow unto it, meaning be in order. Whatever we say goes. The Lord said they're going to come down, show up bowing down at what Yahweh Shai, how dirty he going to do them when he rebuked their weapons and destroying all their kings. All right? And many nations shall come, even Russia, and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths, for the law shall go forth of Zion, the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. So this is where the new power seat is going to be on the earth, is in our land. And they're going to do what Yahweh Shai tells them to do, and his people tell them to do. So Ezekiel 38 is something that's going to happen right now, not in the kingdom. Ezekiel 38 and 39 is going to happen right now, man. When they come up against this place, the Lord going to rain fire on them for trying to destroy this place with us in it. All right, that's why the Lord said, what? I'm against thee, man. He's not with Russia. All right. So the Lord, the Most High, says what? He controlled the hearts of kings. So he's the one, he said he's going to think an evil thought. So he's steering Russia into destroying this place, America, while we're in it. And in doing so, the Lord is going to show his power to deliver. It says, defending, he shall also deliver. And then all that hell is going to fall on these nations. 2 Ezra 15. Nuclear fallout. The Sodomite sea shall cast out fish, meaning the water is going to be so toxic that there's going to be nothing but dead fish. Hell, the water is going to freeze over. All the plankton in the water is going to die off in the oceans. People are going to be thirsty from war. Drinking the water is perishing, dying and shit, poisoning. they're gonna need Israelites to help them. But Yahweh Shai, what it says, and he shall judge among many people, man. So Yahweh Shai, they're gonna be scared as hell, Yahweh Shai, and rebuke strong nations afar off, man. So the Lord gonna send out His men to go and kick their ass and burn up their weaponry and shit like that. They're not gonna come up to us. When they come up to us, keep thy foot when you come to the house of the Lord. When they come to the Lord's men and the God and Yahweh Shai, man, they're gonna come bowing down. All right. So he broke it down wrong, man. Revelations 20. That's what got him right there. When he went to Revelations 20, that didn't help him, because the lake of fire is after the saints get compassed round about, and fire comes down. That's the lake of fire. All right. So it says, and he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off, even Russia, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares. Man, they're gonna get ready for farming. That's why the Lord gonna rebuke their weaponry, man. They ain't gonna have nothing to fight us with, sticks and stones. And their spears into pruning hooks, man. So they're gonna get ready for farming. So he basically saying a bunch of farmers gonna come up to fight us. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation. So those nations not gonna lift up a sword against us either. Neither shall they learn war anymore, man. So they're not gonna find different tactics or methods and increasing. No, the missiles, the ICBM missiles, is the highest point that man is gonna reach in war. All right, be able to destroy a whole country and melt the flesh of people and radiation. That's the max. Booms and explosions off the Richter scale. So yeah, man, he broke this down incorrectly. When you read Revelations 20, all right, Ezekiel 6, Isaiah 60 and 16. 18, violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders. But thou shalt call thy walls salvation and thy gates praise. All right. So, man, we can keep going on and on. I'm going to stop there in case I got to bring more out. And I'll go into maybe more into Revelation 20 another time, or Ezekiel 38. Because when you read it, you can clearly tell it's an allegory, it's a parable. And it's talking about there's going to be an evil nation that's in the north, and they're going to have a bunch of allies with them. And they're going to come against the Lord's people in that day, those that are back in his presence. That's what it means. And the precept is tied to Revelations 20 because it's showing you that this is going to happen before, in the midst of the destruction, the lake of fire. That's when they're going to compass the city, the Israelites that are in this place round about, meaning to destroy this place, America. All right. So we're gonna have to get out of here. We can't be here when it happens. So the Lord gonna send down his mighty ones, his angels, to protect his elect. Revelation 7, 11 and 7. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them. This goes hand in hand with Revelation 20. So when we finished our testimony 2,000 years ago, that beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit, the same one, the 1,000 years, 1453 or the 1400s, the Roman Empire, Esau, shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. And that happened. All of us were killed. And the Lord promised us we'll be back here today in the spirit of truth. The spirit of the prophets are subject unto the prophets. All right, so, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. See? which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Crucified meaning X'd out. All right. Tha. This is where they did away with the Lord's name and the truth about Yahushua and his people. So we were spiritually dead over here, man. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, 350 years, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves, and they that dwell on the earth shall rejoice over them. So they were happy. That was that war against us, man, all the way from the Roman Empire, still following us, still to this day. Like Deontay Wilder, to this day. All right, and they're gonna go all the way to the point of deceiving Russia into World War III, as we see today, and they're going to destroy this place with us in it. So the Lord going to snatch up his elect, all right, and bring hell on these nations, man. So he's going to cause fire to come down, wormwood, missiles falling on each other. Look at Russia being attacked by Ukraine today, and America going nuclear. So parts of all those lands going to be destroyed, but the main destruction is going to happen in this place, America, and in the land of Israel. All right, so where was I at? And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from Yahweh entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. See that? And through that fear, they want to destroy us. The saints of the Most High. Saints represent sanctified or holy. To anoint the most holy. That's what Yahushua did when he was on the earth. And those saints are back here today. And especially the ones in America. They represent that foundation. All right? And fear is falling on these people. That's why they're coming down with great wrath. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying, saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. So they're going to be, these elect going to be taken up into the chariots right before the missiles hit. And the Lord rains that fire down from heaven. The scripture says it shall be as a destruction from the Almighty. My sword shall be bathed in heaven, and it shall come down upon Idumea. That's what it's talking about, that fire coming down from the Most High. That's why Revelation 20 talk about he saw a great white throne, and the dead were judged, talking about these nations in 2/3. And then the book of life, the elect, and then the lake of fire. Boom. That's the result of that fire coming down from the sky. It's going to consume the foundations of the earth. But he think it's talking about in the kingdom, the Lord going to zap the Russians and their tanks. They ain't going to have no damn tanks. They ain't going to have no missiles, man. You think Iran and all them going to be banded together? No. That's over with after Yahushua shows up. He's going to rebuke all their inventions. Put all of them to shame. And the same hour was there a great earthquake. So in that same moment, there's going to be a great earthquake. The same way he's talking about Ezekiel 38. And the 10th part of the city fell, meaning the majority of America is going to be destroyed. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, meaning an innumerable number. All right, the complete set number that the Lord has set to be destroyed in this place. And the remnant were affrighted. See, we're going to be scared because of the destruction that Russia and them bringing. And they gave glory to the God of heaven. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right? So that's what it's talking about. We're not going to be in that land and then they come up against us. No, in that land, we're going to be at peace. In that land, we're going to be executing judgment, going around. They're going to be scared to see us. Hiding in holes, braying amongst the bushes and shit again. Maybe throwing stones or not wanting to work. But the Lord said what? The nation that will not serve thee shall perish. They're going to perish, man. All right, so I got many more scriptures to bring out. But yeah, him saying that Russia or any nation is going to come up against us, And the kingdom is off because scriptures say, since America has fallen, no feller is come up against us. And there shall be no violence heard in our land. You see that? So, Ezekiel 38 and Ezekiel 39 is a parable and a metaphor of Revelations 20. And Revelations 20 is talking about Armageddon. And Armageddon is the lead up to and during World War III. All right, and the ICBM missiles being launched off and coming down from the Most High out of heaven and destroying this place, Idumea, America, with the elect here in this place having to get out of here quickly. Revelation 7, the angels holding back the destruction. Psalms 91, they shall bear thee up in their hands that you don't dash your foot against a stone. All right. So yeah, Ezekiel 38 and Revelation 20 go hand in hand, but these all happen before the lake of fire, not after. With that, I'm going to say Shalom.